it's law, real estate, landscaping, there's a top 5 or 6%. And I said, in the NFL, as I'm watching the same teams draft at the top of the NFL draft, I said, my circle of trust is 8 NFL franchises. They're not perfect. Yeah. They miss on a receiver or a quarterback draft, and they'll overpay. But owner, GM, coach, quarterback, Bills, Ravens, Eagles, Lions, Chiefs, Rams, Green Bay, San Francisco. Tier 2, they check a lot of boxes, but I'm not there yet. Denver, Seattle, Chargers, Tampa. I think Tampa for 10 years had a good roster. Minnesota, Houston, Washington could go to the tier 1, but I need one more year. Am I missing anybody here?
So tier 1 is exactly right. I think that's really well done. I listen, tier 2, I'm just curious.
All right.
Is there a separate professional football league where the Chargers win big games that I don't have access to? Like, I don't know. Like, it seems like everyone in sports media gets beamed in different Chargers seasons than me for my entire life. It's like, oh, this is the year. They're so talented. You got them on trustworthy franchises. I don't know, man. I've just watched, like, the NFL that I have, there's even a name for doing something the Chargers do. It's called chargering. The NFL that I have, we watched them hire the wrong coach. This time they got the right coach, but even he, Justin Herbert, golden arm Justin Herbert only throws 3 picks all year, throws 4 in a playoff game, and they're going to now win the AFC West. I mean, it's just, so I agree with tier 1. I just need to figure out, I pay a lot for Sunday Ticket. I need that extra tier that gets the second version of these Charger games that everyone else has.
Okay. Oh, my God. Guys. We've been through this. I want to talk real softly to everyone right now. I'm not going to talk that soft. Because it's just, we've been through this so many times with the Chargers. And, let's call them misfortunate events that has led the Chargers to have some lack of success. But they are clearly, when I look at some of these, because Nick's essentially saying that they shouldn't even be on tier 2. And I find that comically, hilariously absurd. Because they, at a time, now Staley obviously didn't work. I wasn't a fan of him, etc., etc. That's fine. But they still had a time. They went out and got Justin Herbert. Smart. Okay? Justin Herbert balled out. They built like a decent roster, both offensively and defensively. But they had bad luck with injuries. And when they, and then they lost their great coordinator, unfortunately, in Shane Steichen. And then that really kind of hurt them. But when they reached the conclusion, Staley was aggressive, really going for it on a lot of these 4th downs, which was smart many times, but he just took it too far. But they were on the right track, right? They weren't doing the opposite of everyone else, quite frankly. Like they were being smart, and they were being ahead of the curve. But it just took it to a little bit too far. And when they realized that Staley was not the guy, they moved on. They got rid of him. They didn't continue to do this song and dance. They really tried their best to give him some runway. They even brought in Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore obviously clearly proven to be a great OC, had massive success with the Dallas Cowboys, had even bigger success in winning a Super Bowl with the Philadelphia Eagles. So bringing in Kellen Moore was also a smart hire, And then when it was time for them to get a new coach, they didn't do anything bizarre. They didn't say, we're going to make Chip Kelly our head coach. They didn't say, we're going to bring in Schottenheimer. We're going to be the team to give Cliff Kingsbury another chance as a head coach. They said, no, we're going to get Harbaugh. We're going to get Harbaugh. That's what we're going to do. All right? They went out and made the right hire. That is something that many teams, like, what did the Dallas Cowboys do? Oh, from Jason Garrett, we're going to go to Mike McCarthy. Oh, Mike McCarthy, let's kind of keep playing this dance. Like, are we going to extend him? Are we not? Maybe we'll give him another year. I don't know. Who knows? Screw it. Let's just do Schottenheimer. because that's fun. Sure, let's get Kellen Moore out of the building. He's not that good. Oh, really? He helped lead the Eagles to, one of the greatest playoff runs ever. Oh, okay, great. So I guess maybe he wasn't maybe a problem. And then we can look at all the other teams, the Tennessee Titans, the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, like we can keep going on and on with all the bottom teams. Like, what are the New York Giants doing, man? Oh, let's give Daniel Jones $140 million. Like, okay, that's fun. Great, cool. I mean, like we can just go on and on and on. So this whole singling out the Chargers is just insane. And the sheer fact that this roster, this team did get messy, and that they did have to cut bait with this roster, coaching staff, etc. when Harbaugh came in, and this idea that now this defense radically improves with another great defensive coordinator hire from Harbaugh, obviously Harbaugh being the great hire as well, and this team instantly being better, instantly being competitive, giving the Kansas City Chiefs a run for their money, great draft picks, Herbert playing awesome, but yeah, they come up short in the playoffs because they were playing so much better than what the team actually was. They were playing above what they were truly capable of doing. That is a massive victory. They were squeezing the most amount of juice out of this roster. That's the way it goes, man. That's the way it goes. You do got to give Herbert a run game. Actual, weapons to throw to. Not just a rookie slot receiver. You do need those things. Some of the who they drafted for their O-line, like, they did go up against an awesome defense. I mean, like, it's real funny to make fun of the Chargers for that game, but then, like, Patrick Mahomes was absolutely humiliated in the Super Bowl. And don't be like, well, that's the Super Bowl, that's different. I thought Patrick Mahomes was the GOAT, and I thought GOATs are supposed to play the best in the biggest games possible. That's weird, because Nick Wright also makes fun of, like, Lamar Jackson, says Lamar Jackson, his worst game every year is his last game of the season. That's the mark of someone who can't handle the moment, and blah, 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 blah. I think Patrick Mahomes' worst game might have been in the Super Bowl. He looked really bad. He threw multiple interceptions. He fumbled the ball. He played awful. They couldn't get to the 50-yard line until, like, 4 minutes left in the third quarter. I mean, come on, man. So, the Texans defense was great. And some of those players for the Chargers had a welcome to the NFL moment, man. It's just the way it happens sometimes. And yeah, Justin Herbert's, again, some of those interceptions were unfortunate. Did he play amazing? No. Already talked about it. We're not going to keep going back in time. But it's also kind of like, yeah, you got to just let it rip. You got to do everything. Just like Patrick Mahomes was trying to do when he was getting rocked in that Super Bowl. Was going to let it rip. Then he got rocked physically and then fumbled the ball. He was trying to make a play, and Cooper DeJean said, yeah, I'm going to make a play too and have a pick six. So, and again, don't give me the nonsense of like, whoa, you can't compare the two. Patrick Mahomes is one Super Bowl man, and because I could already see the Kansas City Chiefs fans just rising to the top and being like, oh, imagine comparing Justin Herbert to Patrick Mahomes. And yeah, because Patrick Mahomes would have won all those Super Bowls with the Chargers with, Staley as his head coach. Right. Because that's how it would have happened, right? I'm so sure of that. Also, remember when everyone blamed Patrick Mahomes' O-line for all the issues, and that's why they lost? I made multiple videos about that because that's what people are trying to claim. Dropbacks with pressure, 17. Justin Herbert in his wild card round, 19. Well, that's weird. He was actually pressured more times. That's so weird. Go figure. Who would have thunk it? And Patrick Mahomes actually did worse with that pressure. A 53 rating compared to Justin Herbert's 60 rating. And let's make no mistake about it. Part of that rating is because of all the junk points that they put up in the end of the third, when the score was already, what was it, 34-0? I already forget. Like, it was obviously outrageous. Nick Sirianni, the head coach for the Eagles, was literally getting a Gatorade bath when they scored 2 touchdowns. So, like, let's make no mistake about it. This right here would have been even lower. There wouldn't be 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. So let's be very clear about that. So, you know, and do you also remember what was happening in Los Angeles during that time? Like, the Chargers couldn't even practice. And when they were outside, they had to wear masks and stuff. They were worrying about where their family's going to be. There was a lot going on. A lot going on. But yeah. The Chargers were an awful team in 23. They were drafting where they were drafting because of how bad they were. And then literally in year 1 with Herbert and Harbaugh, they're a playoff team. And we want to pretend like that's not success. You want to pretend like what were you watching? Because I guess they didn't roll the Houston Texans when the Kansas City Chiefs themselves even struggled with the Houston Texans, but they were given a little help. So weird. Pretty weird. It's just funny to like point that out of all the teams that are up there. When like the Washington Commanders have been poorly run for like 2 decades. And then they get Dan Quinn, Cliff Kingsbury, and Jane Daniels completely turn this thing around. And now they're a well-run team. That's fine with me. I'm totally on board with that. Broncos hadn't made the playoffs in a decade. They got Sean Payton, Bo Nix, boom. Made a terrible deal with Russell Wilson, boom. So, like, offer the same credit to the Chargers. You want to put them on the tier with the Tennessee Titans? With the Cleveland Browns? With the New York Giants? Come on, man. Come on. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? What are we talking about? Those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the San Diego Los Angeles Chargers being a, I guess, tier 2 run franchise, and Nick pretty much saying no? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.